Now let's dive into today's discussion, which is all about understanding currency redenomination and how to navigate these changes. One of the most important things to know when it comes to currency adjustments is the concept of a 1-1 exchange rate. When people refer to a 1-1 rate, they often think it's strictly about money. But in reality, this phrase is referring to purchasing power that remains consistent before and after currency changes. This concept is crucial because the new exchange rate doesn't just magically make your old currency more valuable. It acts as a multiplier for your existing notes, meaning the purchasing power of your money stays roughly the same. Understanding this can help you stay on top of your finances, whether you're investing, saving, or just dealing with day-to-day expenses. Let's take a deeper look at what all of this means. To start, let's talk about what a redenomination actually is. Redenomination happens when a country decides to change its currency by issuing new notes and replacing the old ones. The primary reason behind redenomination is usually economic. Countries do this to stabilize their economy or to combat high inflation that has eroded the value of the currency over time. This process is often seen in countries where inflation has run rampant, leading to a situation where the old currency becomes so inflated that it's impractical for everyday use. For instance, you may have heard of countries that drop zeros from their currency. This means, for example, that a 1,000 dinar note could be replaced by a 1 dinar note, effectively cutting off zeros in the hopes of simplifying the currency system. Let's break this down with a simple example. Imagine you have an old 1,000 dinar note. Based on your understanding, you might think that this note is worth 1,000 times the value of 1 dinar. So you might calculate it to be worth around $3.21 times 1,000. In this case, you might expect that the note is worth $3,210. But here's the thing, this is a misconception. When a country undergoes redenomination, the old currency essentially loses its previous value. In other words, the face value on the note is no longer a reflection of what it's worth in the new currency system. In this example, you might find that your 1,000 dinar note is now worth only a fraction of what you thought. In reality, the note may only be worth $3.21, or even less. When you go to exchange this note at a bank or an exchange office, the agent will likely tell you that the old currency is no longer valid. They'll inform you that a new currency system has been implemented and your old notes need to be exchanged for the new ones. The new notes will hold a different value, and unfortunately, you won't get the full amount you expected just because the note says 1,000 inches on it. The exchange rate doesn't work that way. For example, instead of receiving $3,210 for your 1,000 dinar note, the exchange office might give you only $3.21. While this might sound confusing or even frustrating, it's important to understand that the banks and exchange offices are well aware of the redenomination and know how the new system works. They will not honor the old notes at their face value, and the new notes are pegged to a new standard. The date of the old note, along with the newly established currency system, are key factors in determining its value in the current exchange market. This is why it's so critical to stay informed about currency redenomination and the economic changes in your country. If you're holding on to old notes, thinking they'll be worth a substantial amount when you exchange them, you might be in for a rude awakening. The reality is that currency changes don't happen overnight, and the old notes typically lose their value once redenomination is put into effect. So how do you avoid this scenario? You need to keep up with the news and government announcements related to currency redenomination, as these will give you the vital information you need to understand how the new system works. If you don't follow these updates, you might end up making a costly mistake when you go to exchange your old currency for the new one. To help illustrate this, let's imagine a real-life situation. Picture yourself walking into a local exchange office, thinking you're about to cash in your old 1,000 dinar note for a large sum of money. You confidently hand over the note, expecting a payout in the thousands, but then the exchange agent looks at you and says, "I'm sorry, but this currency is outdated." Suddenly, confusion sets in. You ask, "So how much will I get?" The agent responds, "Just $3.21. In that moment, you're hit with the harsh reality. You didn't do your research before bringing in the note, and now you're stuck with a much lower value than you anticipated. This can be a major disappointment, but it's not the end of the world. So what do you do next? There are a few steps you can take to handle this situation more effectively. First, check with your local bank. Some banks offer a grace period during which you can still exchange old notes for the new currency. Other banks might offer long-term solutions for exchanging outdated money. So it's a good idea to inquire about any potential policies in your area. Second, turn to online resources for updates about currency changes. Blogs, forums, and government websites are valuable sources of information that can give you the latest details on how redenomination might affect the value of your old notes. These resources will help you stay informed and avoid surprises when you exchange your money. Third, reach out to friends or community members who may have encountered similar situations. If they've gone through the process before, they can offer advice or share their experiences, giving you valuable insights into what to expect. In any case, the key takeaway is that you don't want to go into the exchange office unprepared. Currency redenomination can have a big impact on the value of your old notes, and staying informed will help you make better financial decisions. Don't wait until you're at the bank to find out the details. Keep up with currency news and make sure you understand the changes happening in your country. If you found this explanation helpful, be sure to hit that like button and share it with your friends. We all need to stay informed about currency changes, and sharing this kind of knowledge can make a big difference. Leave a comment below. Have you ever been confused by exchange rates? Or have you faced a situation where you didn't understand how currency redenomination works? Let's discuss it. And don't forget to subscribe for more insights on financial topics like this one. Staying informed is one of the best ways to protect your financial future and make sound decisions in an ever-changing economic landscape. Intel Guru, Frank, 26. Community comment, $6.47 like it was in my dreams. I don't think it could ever reach something like that, because that would cause a domino effect with the other Middle Eastern currency values. It would be the opposite of what we're doing right now, an undervalued exchange rate. We would be dealing with an overvalued exchange rate. That would really mess things up in imports and exports. Newshound Guru militiaman tourism is a massive amount of money. Millions of people flock into Iraq for religious tourism every single year. That's a fact. Article quote, "There will be new opportunities that serve tourism, their geographical location, and contributing to supporting the economy in the coming days. It looks like they're ready to activate this." Newshound Guru Samson article, Kurdistan PM, Iraq's central bank governor discussed digital finance reforms and cash reduction plan. Newshound Guru Claire, article, Al-Sudani talks about Baghdad and the governorate's readiness to receive international tourism companies. Quote, "According to the statement that the government's interest in developing infrastructure in Baghdad and the provinces is to prepare them to receive international tourism companies that wish to establish their tourism and hotel projects in Iraq." Al-Sudani pointed to Iraq's vast tourism heritage, including archaeological sites and religious and cultural centers, which qualifies it to achieve significant leaps and become a leading tourism destination, attracting companies specializing in tourism to operate there.